We'll see what happens when we press go. Oh, crap, I did it again. Hi, Mom. Here we go. That's what I meant to do.
It really helps if I get my mic down here.
Okay. We're going to hear this song for the first time. I don't know. Did anything turn in the lyrics?
Sorry?
Is there anything wrong in the lyrics there?
You're asking this on the fly here.
Right there.
Well, yeah, I see the lyrics. No, it looks fine.
Where the force and law hold sway. Questions rise like suns each day. Peter's here to light your way.
Oh, wow. Wow, I like this. I'm going to make this my theme song every time I come on, folks.
And whenever you wake up.
There we go.
You can do that with your iPhone.
Can I?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Lending wisdom at the core.
Oh, what do I need to do here?
Listening, we're taking soar. Use the force drive safe, my friend.
I have no idea what you're doing right now.
Resist the dark side, let's transcend.
I didn't put a space, but in your last name, I messed it up.
Yeah, we'll fix that another day. It's okay. It's not like I've ever worked here.
Star Wars Cop.
Wow.
I want to know let's hear this chorus.
Lightsabers and traffic lights.
Lightsabers and traffic lights.
Navigate through all the fights. Balancing the wrongs and rights. Peter's guidance in our sights. Speeding ties and busy lanes.
But this program goes with you.
The Suno subscription, yeah, I got that. But you know, it's free. I just happen to pay for it because I like paying for things. Listen, this is the Thursday episode of Ask a Traffic Cop. And it makes sense to call it Ask a Star Wars Cop because that's the Star Wars cop. And I am not going to be a cop as of tomorrow. Well, the end of day. But while I am a cop, I'm hanging out with you in studio. And I'm looking forward to doing this virtually from like in my pajamas when I come in to help you.
That'll be awesome because you're going to be helping me every day doing this from home as I sit back and be like, I'm not quite sure what happened here.
I'll tell you that I started my career as an auxiliary officer. So that was volunteering. So if I end my career and start volunteering to help you, I'm down. I'm good. I can do that.
I appreciate that. We'll get you an auxiliary uniform and we'll get you some hours.
Can I get a mug? I don't know.
You got to work up to the mug.
Okay. Can I have my water bottle? I left it all the way over there. Everything is being. I know where everything is. This is the first time I've ever sat on this side of the. I feel very discombobulated.
We had some technical issues here. Like I didn't have a mic for a couple minutes because my mic's usually over there, and so now it's over there. And so here I am. I guess I'm hosting in a way, and Sean is co-hosting because my name's on it, and we'll correct the spelling on the last name afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to be here. This is awesome. Looking forward to it. Oh, someone's calling me on my WebEx. That's great. Hey. Getting meeting calls during the time in the studio.
There's nothing like it. I've had to deal with that. Yeah. I know how.
Maybe I should take that call. We'll have this live on. That would be awesome.
I've done that before, and it makes it interesting. I usually say, "Hey, you're live on the internet."
Yeah, we're gonna pass on that one.
In fact, I will tell you that I have an autoresponder. Like I can press, I'm in a meeting, but it now says, "I'm live streaming. Come watch me at YouTube." Because you got to plug the show whenever I can. I hope you're doing well, everybody. And this is that show on the internet that allows you to ask a police officer questions about stuff and things. Specifically Star Wars.
Today it's going to be a Star Wars theme. We could do Disney another day, sci-fi stuff. Yes. Okay, wow. I think I'm going to need to bring that screen a little bit closer. Now sitting in your seat, this screen is great. That's like, hold on.
Let's redirect.
What is that question here? That's a little far for me. So, folks, if you're wondering, this is my first time doing this. This isn't what I quite signed up for, but thankfully to Sean and his early retirement, I have now inherited the family business, is what I'm going to call it.
I like
family
it.
business of traffic services. So, yeah. Oh, thank you. I can actually read that.
Yes, that one went further away. It's all teetering.
So,
by the way, the screens are all mounted with. I'll get it later. But all these things are mounted to the thing that I brought, and I'm like, I'm supposed to take that home. But where do I put the screens?
That center thing?
Yeah,
that's yours.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be hugely problematic.
The thing that everything's attached to. It's a tree.
Things you should have mentioned, I don't know, 2 weeks ago when you decided you were leaving us, that we need to get one of those.
Get a picture. But yeah, you know, it's here.
Okay.
I'm going to put
There
this
are going to be some growing pains here, folks. Essentially, Sean is going to leave me with a monitor and a camera. And
Just
I'm
hold your
gonna
cell
I'm gonna
phone.
sit on the floor. I'm basically gonna sit on the floor and not quite cross-legged, but I'll try my best.
Well, so just so you get an idea of what we're looking at when we look at you.
Okay, fantastic. Took the picture back of my head. It just looks like the front. So, just looks like the
Okay, I
front.
zoomed in now. It looks better. You know, there's stuff and things, and I just realized that the mounting system that everything's attached to is mine. But anyway, moving on. I'm not stressed out. Like you'll use it. I'll figure it out another time. I just want you to be comfortable.
I'm so glad you decided to bring that up today, the day before you left. Be like, hey, by the way, I'm taking that tree thing with me.
The thing that everything's attached to.
Everything's attached to? Yeah. But we're going to continue this show kind of like for now, the way Sean would have done it. So I'll do my good mornings to folks.
Morning.
And, there we go. So, Stephen, thank you so much.
Steven's in London.
I appreciate, Stephen, you putting my name first. Just so we're clear, Sean is now second in command. And I have the well, he's still in the captain's seat. He's in a really comfortable seat, but I didn't want to deny him that yet because I don't want him feeling like he's being forced out the door until I literally have my foot pushing him out.
Yes.
I really want him to stay.
And just the thing, it is a difficult. It's difficult for me to leave. This is not an easy thing. I do love it. I even love him, and it's going to be tough. Tomorrow's going to be very tough, and I'm going to work on not being emotional. That's a big thing. As I leave my family behind and never see them again.
And if you don't
police
realize, next week the show won't air because I'm on vacation, so you'll get a down week of mourning Sean's retirement and the anxiety of knowing that I'm taking over the show because that's how I'm going to feel all week. But we're going to make it work. We're going to try our best here. And I want to say thank you to ASKayla who came out yesterday. It was a pleasure getting to meet you in person and realizing you're a different individual than the name and the title, but I like it. So ASKayla, greetings and salutations to you, my friend. It was a pleasure.
ASKayla is not actually ASKayla. It's his stage name.
Yes. It's his. It's what he goes by. And then we have Tim saying, "Good morning, Sean and Peter and everyone else."
Tim Shallow.
Tim, do you know Tim?
I've known Tim because Tim's a regular on the show, and I've met Tim's family. His wife and son were at Fan Expo last year, and they were going to be at Fan Expo this year.
Oh, awesome.
And I didn't go to Fan Expo
Tim,
this
I
year,
look
but you
forward to
did.
seeing you potentially at a Fan Expo. I'm not sure if I'm going to go next year. I'm going to be honest with you. There's only so many Funko I can buy in a single day, and I'm kind of getting past the Funko thing. And I'm going to say in future, if you can please acknowledge me first, Sean second. But we'll take it from there. Thank you so much.
Not that he's sensitive about it.
Not at all. It's my show now. Julie's got it right. Good morning, Julie. I appreciate the good morning, Peter and Sean and everyone out there. Thank you, Julie, for that. I appreciate that. Or Brandon, we could just go good morning all, and let's have that's acceptable too, as long as it's not Sean's name first anymore. Right. I'm gonna try the influence that it's not Sean. But Sean, do you want to share anything today about how awesome it is that you're about to abandon me and I'm gonna have abandonment issues?
Well, I have already put it out there that if you need help, if you need a guest, I can do it, from home. I will dial in. I'll even come to the studio now and again. I'm all about helping both you and everybody out there.
So Sean's essentially going to retire, yet still be here. We're going to have him sit in the background like ASKayla did yesterday. He's just going to stay there. I'm going to poke him every once in a while so that he's still alive.
Yes.
And I'll make sure, trust me, I'm going to put out food and water for him.
Oh, I appreciate
But I'm going to
that.
essentially lock the door so he can't leave.
My family might hunt you down.
Yeah,
The chief at home is got rules about me actually showing up. So it's a thing.
It's okay, Leo wife, if you're listening. I will send him home on occasions. You can have him home on the weekends.
Oh, that's nice.
We'll have an agreement in place where he can go home on weekends, but Monday to Friday, at least during the show, he's mine. So we'll have like a custody thing in place, and we'll take
figure
it from there.
something out. Too funny. If you've got questions, because that's sort of one of those things we do. If you do have questions about traffic and policing and Star Wars, we're here for you. There was a question that asked about, have you found the green motorcycle guy yet? That came in asking. And we're actually still, to my understanding, looking for the rider of was it a blue and red motorcycle? And there was a person that was featured online that was riding a green and other colored motorcycle that was arrested. Those are unrelated events. So we are still looking for information related to the person who struck a police officer and fled the scene. So just putting that out there.
Thank you. Do you want to take some questions now?
Sure.
We'll start the questions a little bit early. So that we don't get the complaints that we're a half hour behind. Folks, we're going to try to move through the questions as best as we can. I appreciate, and I see it all the time in the comments that they're not answering my questions. There's only so much time, and we kind of fall behind because, we banter, we talk. There are the many good mornings, and we want to acknowledge everyone and say thank you so much for coming to watch this show, because I'm going to tell you it's probably at its pinnacle, at its greatest height right now, and it's going to nosedive once I take over it. But at least I'm honest, and I can say that. My therapist says I should be better about these things, but we're going to try, okay?
That's so good. Nothing wrong. By the way, I'm not laughing at you have a therapist. That's a good thing.
No, that's... So, folks, if you're going to follow me on Twitter and on TikTok, which I'll be honest with you, I haven't posted in a long time, but I feel like Sean's been pushing over all these followers. I feel like I'm going to have to post it on TikTok at some point.
We're guilting you into it.
Yeah. I post, I usually post when I'm out in the community. So just so we're aware, my intention was not to take over the show. I came here with the intention of running programming, which I'm still going to.
Bicycle helmets. It's a thing.
Yes, bicycle helmets. I run programs for kids. I run for the last 12 years outside of 2 years of the pandemic. I run a bike rodeo program, which has had over 2,800 kids participate, and I'm going to be continuing that. So there will be days. The show will not always be a Monday to Friday gig because I will be out in the community. I'm going to try potentially to, do these live from places, but you got to understand there's a lot of coordinating. I got a lot of kids at play.
Will there be meet and greet opportunities? Maybe we could do a non-school bike rodeo for those who watch the show.
Sean, thanks for putting me in this position and making it really awkward.
Is that something that's possible? You always do it with schools. Does it have to be a school?
Yes. We'll figure it out. I'm not always doing it for schools. September 22nd, I'm going out to Scarborough. I'm going to do one for Girl Guides of Canada. That's in the plans. We're just getting some of the fine details out. We're going to be doing it at a mall out in Scarborough. Thankfully, they've allowed us to utilize their parking.
Nice.
If you don't know what a bike rodeo is essentially I run your kids through a whole bunch of stages where they focus in on different cycling skills from teaching. Thank you. And so we, arm signals to shoulder checks, coming to a stop because stop sign says one thing, stop. And we're going to focus things like that. They'll dismount on a curb off of a ramp, simulating a curb, little things like that. They get lights and bells for coming out that day. I typically run it at schools during the school year. So that's kind of my focus. I still will be here until they can find someone better to replace me. So if you're considering, I'm probably a 2. Going to take like a 2.5 to replace me here on a scale of 1 to 5 or 10, whatever you want.
We got a question about iPhones and whether or not you can drive while they're attached to if my iPhone is attached to the dash of my car and I use it for navigation purposes or to answer the phone, is that legal?
Yes.
Yeah.
As long as you don't interact with it, as long as you're not touching away at the screen. If you're just going to engage it, obviously you would do it before your trip. You're going to put into your whatever app you're using for navigation, and you're going to enter your destination, and off you go. Yes, you can touch it to answer the phone call, but I'd imagine you
answer and hang up, but not dial, and all these phones have all the wonderful verbal cue thing. You can just talk to it. I remember having to teach my Sony Ericsson to dial home by saying home 12 times because it had to memorize the sequence. The fact that you can have a conversation with the phone now, say dial and just read the numbers, there's no need to touch your phone.
If you don't know what a Sony Ericsson was a phone at one point, Sony did make phones. But I'm going to get to this other question that I brought up from Chase. Is the charge for expired license the exact charge for driving with loan license? Yes.
Expired license? Yes.
Yes. They're essentially one and the same. Once you're expired, you have no license. I believe it's $325. Last I did.
It's in the range.
It's in that range of about $325. So yeah, that's it. Sorry, if you're wondering what Sean's doing is Sean's already packing up his bags as we're speaking. So he's not satisfied with the lighting. It's not shining properly off of his head.
I'm not in the same position where everything was balanced, and now I have like a lot of light on. Anyway,
where's my mouse?
He looks really good. Do you see how the lighting is very favorable for?
Because now I'm the one in the seat.
See, that's what I'm saying.
I'm in the captain's chair. I'm the captain now. If you can name that movie, that would be fantastic.
If I lean this way, I'm okay.
Okay, so we'll just do a back-to-back thing. It'll be like a 90s pop album.
Yes.
Maybe we can do Milli Vanilli. This isn't our actual voices, and we can't. Don't ever ask me to sing, but yeah.
Oh, God. What is going on?
I'm sorry. I never used the voice changer buttons, but yeah,
I mixed up the text, though. Look at the
What?
text. How did I do
Oh,
that?
because you click.
What did I do? Sean, take it back over. Oh, there we go. Hey!
Just click anywhere. Okay.
Let's go into these pinned ones.
Prince says, "Morning, bro. What's going on?" Good morning to Emma, who says Peter and Sean. She said you first.
Thank you, Emma. You're clearly paying attention and understand the rules, and I appreciate you for that.
Prince says, "When's bro's last day?" Tomorrow is my last day.
Brendan's asking, do I get to keep any of the equipment does he get to keep any of the equipment when you try it? So I'm going to let you in on something, Brendan. Apparently most of this equipment is his. So you're going to see me speaking off my phone. The lighting will be little bonfires I set up in the background. And,
But backstory is I actually started this with my own equipment, all of my own equipment. And when we hit about 100,000 followers, I said, hey, this is working really well. How about you guys buy some equipment? And then the service bought new cameras, and then we've been slowly replacing everything. And almost everything here now belongs to the service. There's a few things. It's vast majority is actually the service.
Except for the giant tree that I'm using for everything.
Except the thing that everything's attached to.
Minor details. But thank you. Thank you for answering that and bringing that up now.
Yes, you're welcome.
Let me see. Which one was this? Attached. Okay, we already answered this
Here's one that, I don't know if it's on there. It's from TikTok. Neil wants to know, what are the consequences legally of vaping underage? Because I don't know this. I'm not a vapey guy. Do you know this about vaping?
Nope.
So you can,
but I will tell you, it's
I can't buy it unless you're 16.
Correct. And the whole thing of vaping at a young age, the addictiveness of vaping. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm going to tell you vaping is no better than smoking.
I would say it's worse.
It's the new smoking. It's highly addictive. I've known people who vape in my own personal life who've gotten away from it because cleaning that thing and actually getting the junk out of it is next to impossible to get it properly cleaned. Mold will grow in it. But that's a totally separate thing. And
super yucky.
Yeah. I'm not a medical professional by any means to be answering vaping questions.
But legally, it's the legal consequences. If you're underage, you're not supposed to. It's like, I think it's the same as smoking. And I think although I've never ever, other than someone throwing a cigarette butt out, I've never dealt with a charge related to smoking. It's just not been my area of expertise.
Someone's asking us an employment question. I'm thinking about applying to policing. Any tips for the prep board interviews?
Prep board interviews. Oh, prep being the pursuit restraint circuit. So in terms of the physical testing, and I am 6'5", 300 pounds, okay, a little more than 300 pounds. But the deal is that I was never a runner. I was never a super athlete when it comes to stuff. There were guys that could run that shuttle run for days without breaking a sweat. But for me, accelerating and decelerating and doing the whole shift was an issue, and I trained for it. And I was able to do it. So if I can do it, you can do it. The actual pursuit restraint circuit was easy peasy for me. Dragging a body around, no problem. Jumping over a fence, no problem. So go to the practice sessions. Get an idea of what you're dealing with. Don't come in the first time to do your test and experience it then. Go and practice.
Absolutely. And if you're wondering what it would be like, the shuttle run watching Sean, it's like watching a large T-Rex moving back and forth. And as you can imagine, that size of a human being or giant dinosaur. Yeah. And then the stop quickly to go the other way is problematic. Not that I'm like, you just need to realize how much larger Sean is if you can't see it on camera. I'm like 5'2" in real life, and he's like 7'5". He at one point was going to play in the NBA, but he chose policing over it.
And I think it was a good decision.
Yeah, small interesting fact.
I can't jump. That's the biggest problem. The other half of it is the interviews. You got to prepare mentally for the fact that you're going to be honest and forthright and not try and make yourself look good. You're going to just tell what happens, and the what happens is a story that covers what they're talking about. You're going to talk more and more in a really verbose way. You're going to talk about stuff and things, and you're not going to hold back. Also, you don't want to open huge doors that you fall through.
Correct. And I'm going to tell you, be careful of what your social media presence is and what you've shared in the past, because all those things we're going to ask to have access to it. You can deny us, but I'm going to tell you, we might probably end up denying you a job here. So put those things all into your consideration when you're applying what your social media footprint is and what you have said in the past. Because we know, you can see in celebrities to politicians to people getting employed, those things will come up, and be careful of what you've said in the past that you might have thought was funny. Coming back to haunt you.
Yeah, I mean, I had a friend of mine who applied, and he was a big, not a Star Wars guy, but a big kind of costume guy, loved Halloween, and he posed for a photo with a weapon that was a very obviously fake weapon, but at the time, and this is going back quite a long time ago, it was perceived as not a good look.
Yeah, I can see it being questionable at times. I've seen people who think it's like, and I get it, it's a toy weapon and you're pointing the gun at the screen. Just be careful. Be careful. You better be able to articulate why you were doing it and what was going on. But yeah. Next question from Leonard Sparling. Who is responsible for policing the HOV lanes on the 403? So many people enter and exit illegally. It would be the Other People's Police, or better known as the OPP. In general, they are doing all the King's Highways, so the 400 series and all that kind of stuff. That would be under them. I get it. I see people come and go. I see people who are driving by themselves because they use it as the passing lane.
Yes, the ultra fast lane.
No, the ultra fast. I like that.
If you and when you have time. And so it's not a matter of if, it's when you have time. Googly-goo on the YouTube, because they're owned by Google, right? So search YouTube and look for HOV crashes. The crashes that you see when people are bustling down, just hustling down that HOV lane when everybody else is at a dead stop, and someone gets the great idea to jump into the HOV lane because they're impatient, and then those two vehicles meet at high speed, it's really, really bad.
It's definitely going to be a bad day.
But amazing videos to watch.
It's going to be worse when the insurance gets involved.
Especially if you weren't entitled to be in the lane in the first place.
Minor details. Yeah. Right? Let's go over to Caroline. G1 driver, passenger fully licensed. Can the passenger use their phone or be in control?
G1 driver fully licensed. Can the passenger use their phone or be in control? The G1 driver, so you're talking about the supervising driver using their phone instead of supervising? Technically not illegal.
Not illegal, but not a great look.
Bad idea.
Yeah, if you're going to trust that G1 driver that you're training
with your life,
yeah, you may not want to. But no, technically it's not illegal. So I hope that answers your question, Caroline.
But they have to be legally capable of driving, because they can't have alcohol more than 0.05. They can have no more than 0.049 and supervise.
The day my kids try to get a G1 and me taking them out, I'm going to get that extra brake installed on the passenger side. Be like,
I want it with a remote control for other people. Could you imagine just being able to point at a car and go, eh?
I would just want my car to have a force field so that knowing it's just going to bounce off of everything else. But yeah.
So you need a Cybertruck.
What are the laws around bow and arrow for non-hunting use?
So you can have them for sport, but it's a weapon. Like it's a thing. You can't walk around with it, and you're looking at weapons dangerous if you were to go to an event with a bow and arrow.
But I buy my bow and arrows at the dollar store, and they usually have a suction cup. I believe those are totally legal because they're for a non-hunting purpose. So if you buy your bow and arrow at the dollar store, I'm not going to particularly push out a certain dollar store. I believe those are completely legal and
toys. Yeah. But mind you, if you shoot the suction cup at an unsuspecting target,
get you in trouble.
You're still assaulting.
And the good thing is, if you do shoot it at a deer, no one's gonna give you a hard time about that.
Well, actually, you'd be putting plastics into the environment. Somebody somewhere is going to complain.
You'd have to pick it up. I highly doubt it's actually going to suction cup to the deer. But if it does, please share that video. I'd love to see it.
A really unimpressed deer looking at you like, really? you shot? That's what you shot me with? Really? Oh my!
We have a question from Liz. A friend got a speed cam ticket in Barrie. Notice says non-payment could affect license plates, liens, blah blah. Is this possible? Yes. I took it back. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because it's an owner's responsibility charge. So the registered owner of the vehicle, it's going to go against their license plates, preventing them from being renewed. They could come after you and civilly sue you for the money, which the courts could then just determine that we're going to, what's it called when they garnish your wages, take your wages before they get to you, seize your bank accounts and assets. Yeah, it is entirely possible. I've never seen it go there, but then again, I don't really follow along.
Fair enough. So in the end, yes.
Yeah, it's a good idea to pay your fines or dispute them if you don't think that you're responsible for them. But doing nothing, really, really bad.
Peter, can you sing the song from the Starways Holiday Special?
I think this is Mrs. Draconis. Am I mistaken?
Cathrilia, I'm going to tell you. So if you know a little bit of the history of the Star Wars Holiday Special, which I'm going to tell you is probably never going to appear on Disney Plus ever. There may have been some, I don't know,
Inappropriate things said.
Inappropriate things, drug use going on that I could never potentially simulate what went on in that. However, I believe you can find it on YouTube if you look really hard. Yes, it's out there. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to take a pass on the song. But thank you for asking. My singing voice is not quite there.
We'll work on that.
Thank you.
You can hit a button here. It might improve it.
Which button is that? Oh God,
no.
Yeah, just God, I'm gonna play with a lot of buttons here. I'm gonna apologize in advance.
Yes, things I would never do normally, but it can.
What's the deal with mushrooms? Legal or illegal? I see stores open everywhere. Illegal. Let's be very clear about this right off the hop. Illegal. There's a whole news story about it in the last couple of weeks about a kid who only worked weekends and who's now got a criminal background because he's got a charge against him. It's illegal.
Here's an interesting question.
Now, if we're talking about mushrooms, not as in mushrooms like you're buying at the supermarket. Let's just be clear.
Once you fry up with some nice
butter.
Like
not a deep, or if you're like a vegan and you're going
talking
to a restaurant.
Hallucinogenic
like
mushrooms.
Yes.
Shrooms. Those are not allowed. But it is interesting because I was listening to News Talk 1010 on the way home, and Deb Hutton was talking about.
I like Deb. I like
Is
Deb.
that right?
I like her.
So when she was talking about your roofer, somebody called in because they smelled marijuana. The roofers were smoking up while they were roofing. And there was a whole dialogue about whether that's a big deal or not. And people were one person in particular called in to say, it's not a big deal. It's just like he wouldn't drink a beer while he's roofing. Let's say, but smoking a puff or whatnot that he thought was acceptable. And I'm like, it's alcohol or drugs at work, not okay. On the roof of my house, not okay.
I would think if an inspector came by and there was open drug use, just like alcohol use, on a work site, I would think there's going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm. And if there was an injury,
beyond the fact that you're probably not properly secured to my roof to begin with, or wearing your harness, and you're just doing the roof. But we're going to skip that part.
So would you call the guy who owns the roofing company to complain that your roofers are high, or just partaking?
What if he's the guy who's getting high?
Oh, so who do you call? Because they called the police. I don't know what actually happened.
I would call it bylaw. Right? Get a building inspector? I don't know.
I don't know either. But it's an interesting conversation. I just can't believe that people are defending drug use at
those work. At the end of the day, those stores you're seeing that are selling illegal mushrooms are illegal. And that's a pretty straightforward answer there.
Jack Smash wants to know if watching this while driving is illegal.
Yes, apparently. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know that. I just assumed watching me is like just awesome, and that's why you'd want to do it every time you would. But
he's joking because he knows looking at a cell phone while driving is illegal. Now, if you're on TikTok, you can just turn off the screen. Speaking of TikTok, if you are watching on TikTok, please tap the screen, show us some likes, and also follow us on whatever platform you're watching.
If you could do me a favor, the one place I don't really want you watching me in is in the shower. I don't want to have those conversations. I don't want to have that intimacy and awkwardness with you. So, just a minor detail. But thank you. A community speed camera. Look at this question's coming in from Christopher Gilliard. Gilliard. Sorry, Christopher. I'm just apologizing because the screen's a little bit far and I'm clearly aging poorly. A community speed camera caught my car and I'm getting charged with going at 90 in a 40 zone. Problem is, I don't remember if I was driving my car on that specific day. Can I fight this charge?
Go ahead.
You can fight any charge.
Yeah,
I don't know how you're going to say, well, I wasn't driving
and I can't remember
my car that day. Regardless, look, if anything's going to help you is the ticket gets charged to the actual vehicle and not you. So it's not going to come up on your insurance. It's kind of like a glorified parking ticket on the offense of it won't actually affect your driver's license or your insurance. However, you can fight anything. You can dispute it in court. You have those options. But I don't know how you're going to say, yeah, that's my car, but I wasn't driving it, or I don't remember driving there. Yeah,
even if you say, I don't remember if it was me or not, or I definitely wasn't me, you are responsible for it without question. It's an owner's responsibility offense, and you can go to the friend that you figure out eventually was driving and hold them accountable, say you owe me $500 or whatever it is, but good luck getting out of it.
I want to speak to this one. Spencer, do you have to be bald to make the force? Well, Spencer, if you want to be an elite, like if you really want to streamline your ability to be as aerodynamic and as quick as you can be, yes, shaving your head it's a benefit. I wouldn't say it's mandatory, but it's a benefit to you.
Yeah, we are more aerodynamic, and it also acts as a solar panel for our traffic sense.
Look, I used to tie my hair in a man bun, and this was the end result of what happened there.
Don't man bun.
Don't do it, and stay away from open flames when you have a lot of hairspray in your hair. But no, it's not mandatory. But thank you so much for Spencer asking. I appreciate that. Our next question is, what is the Erase program?
Eradicate. What is it? Is it Eradicate Racing? I can't remember now. Yeah, you Google it.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to Google this because I'll be honest with you, I don't know.
End racing. Alphabet stop everywhere. I can't remember what it is.
Expect, respect, and safe education.
No, it's not that one. It's not that one. The sad thing is, Erase is a fantastic program for which it just never works for me. I never remember what it's called. And I racing above streets everywhere. What is it?
Oh, it's eliminate racing activity on streets everywhere.
Activity.
There you go.
Activity. See, it's just not.
It's the annual project Erase stresses illegal street racing, stunt driving, and other dangerous driving habits.
It is see, and Chase was way ahead of it. It was eliminate street racing everywhere, which is not Erase. That's SRE. but that's sort of see. I confuse it with the ride. Reduce impaired driving everywhere. Which, by the way, we've talked about it before. RIDE is a provincial thing, but it started as a Toronto thing. It was originally reduce impaired driving in Etobicoke, and we're awesome because we made something that went all over the place. Just saying. Here's user. Here's.
I was going to ask. Ria wants to know, what's your fondest memory of being part of the TPS? We're going to leave this to Sean because I want to see him break down a little bit and maybe have a cry.
Don't do that. I don't want emotional stuff. But
thank you, Ria, for
I have
asking
so
this
many. I have so many fond memories. Like
choose your top one.
No, can I list the 642 of them that I've been thinking about?
No one has 642.
They have nobody time. One of the highlights was working at the Invictus Games, and for those who don't know what the Invictus Games is, it's where soldiers who were either impacted and mentally or physically as a result of being a soldier and deploying, come back and compete in sport. And I was part of a motor squad unit that was escorting these athletes to events, and a gentleman, a hero, got off that bus to come and thank me for my service. This particular person had lost an arm, I believe it was an arm, in active duty, and was thanking me, a guy who rode a motorcycle so he could get to where he was going quickly, for my contribution, for my sacrifice, for my service. And I'd never been so humbled. And he and I basically told him that I appreciate him, but it's his service that I must thank him for. And we had this weird exchange, and we cried and we hugged. It wasn't a big cry. It was just a little, it was really cool. Helping and working on that event was the most rewarding single policing event that I remember. Outside of, saving the cat in the tree, which is normally a fireman's job, but I was doing it that day.
To our firefighter family, we're not looking to make you unemployed. We appreciate you and your life-saving skills.
It was just a small cat.
Fair enough.
But truthfully, there's so many events. I mean, I have to share one more. The one, and I talked about it when I was applying to become a police officer, as a court officer at the time. And I talked about my experience as an auxiliary constable riding a police motorcycle on Queen Street, approaching, is it University that the McDonald's is at? Where's the McDonald's? Where it's on the corner of Queen and it's Chinatown.
Queen and Bathurst.
Is it Bathurst?
No, Queen and Spadina has that one. Spadina.
So yeah. I pulled up to that intersection, I think, and I look over, and there's a kid who's probably not properly sitting in his seatbelt, and he's got his face planted against. He sees a motorcycle cop, and I'm an auxiliary officer at the time, but he sees a motorcycle cop, and he's just so enamored with what's going on. And I gave him a thumbs up, and his face exploded into this big smile, and that was another super rewarding thing that just sticks out as awesome, that there were people who once upon a time liked and respected police, aside from our magical audience, not the person who's typing baloney. I was just muting somebody when you asked me that question.
Well,
Spadina. Ria says Spadina. David says Spadina.
Yeah, it's Spadina.
I like that you've got David in multiple languages here.
They have
That's awesome.
they had a plaque. Someone had put up a plaque. There was a TikTok on it. Someone put a historic plaque in front of it. It was actually pretty awesome.
Yes, I saw that video. It was
pretty cool.
amazing.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So just so we're aware, Chris Campbell, who says we're too busy with themselves to answer questions. Chris, I've actually gone through the vast majority of the questions actually in a pretty quick format, but I appreciate you reaching out.
You know, definitely this is a day where, or the last couple of days have been unique and not going with the regular flow of the show. And I appreciate that everyone is sort of putting up with me reminiscing and
Oh, I totally get it. Nancy's saying, stop the live, laughing out loud. So many crimes are going on. Nancy, is there anything you want to admit to? Why we're here, that you're committing a crime, why we're watching the live and educating folks? Just wondering. Hold on, we have a question in here from Kick. Do I illegally have to step out of my vehicle during a tint traffic stop?
Oh, so if I'm going to conduct an inspection and I need to get inside your vehicle to see, you can't. So you have to comply with an inspection. So you may have to pop your hood. You may have to do a couple of things. Do we have to get you out of the vehicle? I've never gone down the road there. In the States, you have to get out of the vehicle when directed. If we have a lawful demand that requires you to perform a test, there'd be a reason to get out of your vehicle. Is there any other reason? I can't think of a specific reason, other than I may need to look inside your vehicle, and it would be awkward if I climb off top of you. Just saying. Okay, what else we got here? I can't read those. Now I'm on a weird angle and it's far away. So I'm like, what is that? LOL. I think Sean is...
Oh, I think Sean is going to go get a job at ASKaTrafficCop.
Okay, so funny you say that.
He's starting Tuesday.
No, I'm not. I have a real allergic reaction. Kind of. I don't think I can do that. I am so against breaking the law. Being in a position to work to defend people who broke the law, I don't know if that works for me. I have no problem if someone is legitimately not guilty, but I'm not really aware of people getting tickets for speeding who are. Just saying, who are not guilty. So I won't say that I'll never do it. I just don't think that that's something I'm looking to do. But it's been suggested a long time ago. I also thought about becoming a justice of the peace. I actually think that would go well. I was going to apply.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
I was going to apply to be a JP. I might still do that.
Let's see this one. Why is it a crime to slightly tint my windshield, but not a crime when people drive with eye-blinding headlights? Last week, I ran off the single-lane country road. Is my life important? I would tell you your life's important.
Yes.
You're not supposed to tint your windshield.
You're not allowed to. It makes your vehicle unsafe. And it also is illegal to have blinding headlights that are improperly directed. So both are illegal. And if we catch someone with improperly directed headlights, we'll pull them over and give them a $110 fine for that. And if you have a tinted windshield, we'll pull you over and give you a ticket for that.
This one's coming in from Tom. If a trail says no motorized vehicles, bylaw 162, we're not in Cambridge, just so we're clear. I can't quote bylaws outside of the city of Toronto.
I have no idea what the Cambridge
are
laws
e-bikes
are.
Prohibited?
Again, because it depends on what your local municipality has determined. There are e-bikes, and then many laws related to e-bikes differentiate between a pedelec and a bike with a throttle. Pedelec is one that has no throttle system. As you pedal, looks like a traditional bicycle, weighs no more than 45 kilos, and as you pedal, there's energy that is there to augment the work you're doing physically. And in Toronto, I can tell you that it's legal to be anywhere that a bicycle is if you have a pedelec. If your pedelec or if your e-bike is truly an e-bike with a throttle system, you can just drive it around. That doesn't qualify and is not allowed in parks or in other places that are prohibited to only bicycles.
Brian asks, what are the rules for e-bikes and scooters on the road?
Oh.
So are we talking e-scooters as well? Is that e-bikes, e-scooters interchangeable? Because e-scooters
I'm going to assume we can answer it both ways. If you're saying an e-scooter being an e-bike that looks like a scooter, like a Vespa-looking e-bike, that's one thing. If you're talking about e-kick scooter, and we're going to assume it's e-kick scooter, because then we can answer the question. E-bikes and the scooter-looking e-bikes, and then e-kick scooters. So if it's an e-bike, it is not capable of going more than 32 kilometers an hour, not weighing more than 120 kilos, must have functioning pedals, might not have a motor more than 500 watts, then it can be on the road as a bicycle. It can be on bike lanes, but not cycle tracks. It cannot be in park paths unless it's a pedelec. So there's some restrictions. And there's also a speed limit in park paths, 20 kilometers an hour in City Toronto. But that's a separate thing. Now, if it's an e-kick scooter,
I feel like you're going to have to get me a cheat sheet on the back so I can just refer to it. And
we
be
can,
like,
we can
all
do
these
that.
things.
We're going to put all sorts of stuff here. We're going to put signs
Post-its
up
everywhere. And be like,
Post-its. I like Post-its.
which one I got to read off the ceiling or whatever? So I got this.
An e-kick scooter, although prohibited in the city of Toronto, there is a pilot project, and if it's not capable of exceeding 24 kilometers an hour on a flat surface, has no more than a 500-watt motor, has no larger than 17-inch wheels, we just learned that yesterday, has no seats, has no cargo, then it can't be anywhere in the city of Toronto except private property, but it can operate as a bicycle in other jurisdictions. Both require helmets, by the way. Yes.
Yes. He's answered that question fully, beyond anything I would have.
I think I got everything fully. If there's more you want to know. Do you stop sports bikes for no plate? Tyler wants to know. I am disgusted as a motorcycle guy, disgusted to see how many motorcycle people are taking advantage of the fact that there's not enough police to go around and they run with no plates, which means no insurance, no license, no nothing, and they're doing dumb stuff on the bikes. And it's disgusting. I saw one yesterday when I was on my way up to Barrie, and not only did it have a noisy muffler, and was driving like an idiot, but also had no plate. So, yeah, I would totally stop them. I think we should have like lasers. Can you get something from Star Wars that we could deploy to disable the motorcycle?
That would be awesome. In some provinces they have that. They don't disable them, but they can track them. So they'd shoot.
Paint pellet.
That thing that marks it and tracks it.
I want paint pellets. That's what we should do.
Out in BC, they have them. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, I can't remember the exact name of it. It essentially shoots something out from the police car. It hits that car and it tracks it. And you're not going to be able to take that thing off because I can't remember, but it adheres to your car in a way
that's
that
the one that the OPP was testing. It lobs this big styrofoam ball.
No, there was another
tracker.
one. It was a BC. Yeah, and it like hits. And it looks like a metal tube thing, and it just tracks your car. So you can speed away and enjoy yourself, and we'll eventually catch up with you.
Random Rider says, we're sweating just sitting here. Now, that may have been true last year because the air conditioning was broken. No, this is our natural glow. We just have very youthful, moist skin. But thank you.
Or is Random Rider himself or herself sweating just watching us? Because
we're talking about bikes and because they're offenders.
Wow. Okay, Random. Well, there's this one. Why can't Canadians defend themselves from an intruder?
We can. You're allowed to defend yourself.
I'm not sure if it's Louis or Luigi. Luigi is the Portuguese.
Or Louis.
Louis.
Either way, appreciate the question. Canadians are legally permitted to defend themselves under the Canadian Criminal Code. They are responsible for the level or the amount of force they use because you're criminally responsible for anything in excess of what's reasonable. And of course, what's reasonable is going to be determined by the courts afterwards. So if someone breaks into your house and you beat them to a pulp and they're now going to be, getting medical attention, although many people would think that's reasonable, the courts may not agree and may hold you responsible because once they stopped moving, you kept hitting them.
Question we get daily, and I always love to see these. What's the percentage of tint that you can have on your car?
Thanks, Jay, for asking this question. We've never heard it before.
Sean?
So,
Jay, you really need to watch the show daily.
We have about 600 episodes on YouTube if you want to watch old episodes. I would say the most commonly asked questions are on tint and underglow. Just
Jay,
saying.
this question has been, I'm not trying to be rude to you by any means.
We're
I'm
totally
just saying,
gonna answer
out of the 600 episodes, all 600 have had this question
twice.
Twice. At least
Yeah.
twice.
So the deal is that there's, in Ontario, and it differs between the provinces and states that you're in. In Ontario, the windows directly left and right of the driver cannot have more than 30% light blockage. That means 70% of the light has to get through, and that's for certification purposes. That doesn't mean that you won't get a ticket for 30%, because if it's dark outside and we can't see in, you're obscuring the interior of your motor vehicle. So let me break it down one step further. 30% light blockage on the two windows beside you as the driver. The one behind you can be as dark as you want. You don't have to have windows. You think about a box truck, no windows, completely enclosed. So the rear can be as dark as you like. Limo tint is legal. You can spray paint it with black paint. It's all good. The windshield cannot have any tint other than vehicles manufactured before 2017 can have a 3-inch brow across the top. that sun strip. Not legal for new vehicles, and I'm seeing a lot of new vehicles with them. That's not legal. You can lose your plates for it, although that's unlikely, but you could. Now, if you're talking about obscuring the interior with color or reflective coatings, that just means that if we, the police, cannot see inside, we will give you a ticket for $110 for obscuring the interior. You could also have a ticket for obstructing the driver's view by not being able to see out. So you could effectively have $220 worth of tickets, even if you are 30% or below. Tinted window bad?
No good.
No.
We have a question. Oh, are you not retired?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
I'm BMG Music Canada. What's going on? Tomorrow I leave. I'm done. I'm never really done.
Then the show goes down for a week at minimum, and then eventually I am supposed to be here, and so you get me.
But you know what? I'm not leaving the planet. I'm not leaving the country. I'm going to be around. So I look forward to stepping in, helping up wherever needed.
The reason Sean says he's not leaving the planet, if you don't know, he's been going through the testing to be part of the manned mission to Mars.
That's what I'm doing.
And unfortunately, the Mars capsule itself cannot take a man over 7 feet tall. Yeah. There are height and weight restrictions that he is unfortunately not able to meet. I've told him I'm happy to take him out of the shins and see if that helps. I'm kidding. But yeah, he's not going to the manned mission to Mars. This is breaking news.
Indeed, it is. Yeah, I'm going to be doing some other stuff. I'm going to be doing some consulting. I'm going to still content create. I'm going to create a podcast, my own channel. I'm going to figure out ways to entertain myself and be a contributor to good things for all.
I love this question. I'm only putting this up because, Sammy, if you're going to say pointless things like that, do you actually care about people or no? Sammy, I'm going to give you a heads up about the amount of community work I have done before this. Before coming into this, and this wasn't my plan to be here. I've always been about community.
What?
I know. I keep saying that. That's my focus. Do yourself a favor. Maybe Google someone before you come out with comments like that, because clearly you do zero research and come out here and say things like that. And I appreciate the negativity because it's awesome and it speaks volumes to who you may be. But do yourself a favor and maybe just keep it to yourself. But thanks, bud.
The deal is
that I went on a bit of a tangent there for Sammy.
You know what? But you make a good point. There's an assumption that police don't care. A ticket issued to someone is because we care about you and because we care about everybody else that you put at risk when you break the law. Even if it's something minor, you need to follow the rules. The rules were designed to protect people. So it's a simple thing. It's actually caring. When your parents tell you no, it's because they care. It's the kindest words you can ever say to a child is no. Because letting people get away with what they want is bad. It develops bad things. And we, unfortunately, as traffic officers especially, see far too much death and destruction on our roads because people want to do what they want, because they don't value life or think that they're indestructible and that they're just going to be okay. Sadly, this often ends tragically, and it's not okay. So we care a lot, and in fact, that we might care so much that we put our lives at risk to protect others as police officers.
And now to go back on something much lighter, we have from Phil there. Okay. Thank you for your service. Enjoy life.
Yeah. That's what we're going to do. Thank you, Phil. Whoa, man. We just opened up a... Yeah.
All right. The Grinch, 43, asks, do you think the TPS should celebrate May the 4th? I'm all about that.
I have a button. Do I press the button?
Sure. Press the May the 4th
Press the
button.
plus sign.
What's the plus sign there?
Plus sign. You go to video storage.
Video storage?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a great learning experience for me.
Yeah. We're training on the job. Scroll down. Look for the friendly face in a flight suit.
Oh, here we go.
And then it'll pop up here, and you can flip the switch.
This is Kalich Cronus reminding you to stay safe. Don't have a good day. Have a great day.
Oh, because
and May the 4th be.
Is it more training? Hit the speaker to speaker there.
Yep.
Click on the headset. Click on the chat right there where your mouse is.
This
no,
one?
down.
Oh, down.
Yeah. Okay, now hit that switch again.
With you. This is the way.
There we go. Okay.
Oh, he screwed it up.
Yeah. Yes. I'll be honest with you. We'll probably do something themed around May the 4th on that day. I'll dress up as Star Wars. Maybe I'll convince a couple of the other Star Wars people here to get into it. And we'll do something for May the 4th. I used to speak on News Talk 1010 with Barb DiGiulio every May the 4th. I would go on, usually in studio, and we would talk something about May the 4th. So it was pretty awesome. Or we talk about whatever. I used to run a lot of programs. Many of them were around Star Wars. I used to run a Star Wars breakfast and blah, blah, blah. But yeah.
Star Wars is real.
Civil here says, what does it take to become a cop? I think this might be a good time to go to your website and teach me some more extra things that I need to learn.
So click on careers up there in the tab that says careers. We're going to talk about becoming straight up.
Careers.
Tab.
Careers.
Okay. And then hit the plus sign. We're going to do screen share.
Screen share.
Yeah. And then hit careers. This is so many clicks. I do this while not.
Share.
This is all things I do automatically behind the scenes.
Yes, and this is taking me 10 minutes.
That's okay. I can go under captions.
Oh, God. Captions.
Click on the caption for TPS down there.
Or TPS Employment Unit.
There you
go.
So then you have to hit this tab to hit the screen. There's a lot of things that happen here.
It only took 20 steps, folks.
That's right. So here's the deal. It takes a lot. It takes commitment. It takes training. It takes a want to serve. It is a life of service, truly. But it also takes application. And that you can do by going to tps.ca/careers. I would suggest reading everything there is to know on this website before going to the next step, because you need to know stuff before you do stuff. Otherwise, you're going to ask questions of your recruiter that you could have found out already, and it makes you look lazy. Don't look lazy. And also never be late for anything. Or, early is on time is late. Late
and
is
late is never unacceptable. I would say late is never. Never? Yeah, that's what I used to tell you. I used to do the Yippies. If you don't know what Yippies are, they're Youth and Policing Initiative students. Great program run by the service all year round. Summer is probably the best time to enter it. And yeah, we have Yippies. So you can be a high school kid doing it.
So once you figure all that stuff out, you read this website, then you find out if you qualify. If you qualify, take it to the next steps. Make sure you get your application, and you can make the application online. But truly, volunteerism is a huge thing. If you're not already volunteering in your community, start, because we don't want someone who started volunteering just so they could get on the job. We want people who have been committed to their community, the one that they're going to serve. And again, it's a life of service. And think about all the people who have been just trash talking us in this live. You're going to be getting involved in a career where people trash talk you in the live and on the street and all the time, because not everyone understands or respects the job. So it takes a certain kind of person with a thick skin, or someone who can develop one. Because I'll tell you, I came onto this job as a court officer, and I had never really understood to the levels that I understand now that not everybody likes you.
People like me. I don't know about you, but
they like that. No,
how do I get away? Okay, so I turn this off.
There you go. Oh, but we have to check out what else is posted. We've got to go back there for 1 second.
You and the job posting
it's
things.
Not
yes.
just about policing. The police officer job directing. If you hit back button,
that's that button right there. Right? Okay.
There's other ways to serve. Police constable, special constable, parking enforcement officer happen to be uniform positions. Parking officers don't get the justice or the support and recognition they deserve. They keep our city moving. They keep people from parking their cars in the middle of the streets and walking away. Comms operators are the magical people who answer your telephone calls when you need help and send police officers to help you. So they are incredibly important. Auxiliary officers is a volunteer position. I mentioned volunteerism. That's a great place to start. Again, I started there.
And Sean's coming back to volunteer.
Yeah, I might rejoin the auxiliary police. Who knows? If you hit civilian roles, though, that's my favorite place, because it has everything in one spot, and we post new jobs all the time. Intermediate technical analyst, legal counsel, analyst in people and culture, security coordinator, pension benefit analyst, senior pension analyst, and communications operator. Those 7 positions are currently open and will not be open forever. So if you know somebody who might be interested, or if you're interested, get in there and make an application, because, once the posting's closed, it's closed.
Sean, one of your fans here is saying, congrats, Sean. Well earned. Thank you for doing the show. Has been following you for almost 2 years.
The Grinch's family.
Wow.
And
legit family?
No.
Oh,
but
okay.
like
family, like
ASKaTrafficCop.
Social media, like this is my.
And Grinch, weren't you talking about applying? I thought you were talking about applying. Maybe I missed.
No, I'm going to say the Grinch is excited to have a fellow Star Wars fan on the airwaves.
That makes sense. I totally get it.
And Liz has asked, on May 4th, can Sean come back dressed as Chewbacca? We can arrange that. I don't know if this is appropriate.
I just won't shave for a while. I'll be fine.
See, I wasn't sure if I could go there. Like,
I'm halfway there.
yeah.
Mind you, I don't think I'd have enough. I'd be a balding
We're
Chewbacca.
gonna ask Chewbacca to keep a shirt on. I'm scared of the Robin Williams effect here. So yeah. But folks, we're coming up on 11 a.m. and that's going to be the end of our show today because I've got a lot to learn and we've done an hour. I thank you.
And we've answered so little because we've been chatting about all sorts of things.
Yeah, we've answered every question that we actually answered. Probably more questions than we have in a while. And so thank you so much for coming on board and watching us. Thank you to the moderator for doing a fantastic job. I'm assuming you're still awake and haven't fallen asleep, so thank you. And yeah, thanks for watching. And folks, this won't be our last episode together because tomorrow you'll get to witness me kick Sean out and put his boxes to the curb as I walk him out and say, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. And then the show closes forever.
There you go.
I'm kidding.
Do we got to play the recruiting video on the way out?
Absolutely. Let's play this recruiting. So we're going to hit the plus sign here.
We're going to hit the plus sign.
Plus sign. Video storage.
Video storage.
There we go.
We're going to look for the scroll down and the
down,
eye.
the eye.
And this is it. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hanging out with us. And see you tomorrow. We'll do it for the last time with me in the studio, at least as a paid employee.
All the best, folks. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday.
Your future career starts with a vision. A vision of opportunities ahead, where you can see a path to a noble career, serving the city of Toronto. Where do you see yourself? Toronto Police Service. Apply today.